I'm back. Hope you didn't miss me too much over the weekend. I missed you desperately. Like, proper, deep, real. I had quite a nice, relaxing weekend, actually. It was very pleasant. Might have to do that a bit more often. But we're back, and fingers crossed, I won't be whining about being ill ever again. No more sickness for Kev. Ever. Hello and welcome to Club 4, Part 16 of Non-Lethal Legend. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have two matches for you. We're at home against Manchester City and then away against West Ham, both in the Premier League. Since you were last with me, this is what's been going on. We had a bit of a rough spell. Things were looking a little bit ropey for a little while, but then we got a fully fit Simon Hall returning to the team, and all of a sudden we started looking good again with wins, comfortable wins at that, against Huddersfield and then a thumping of Newcastle. All of which means this is what the Premier League table looks like. Only 7 games in, but we're roughly where we finished last season, which is exactly, I guess, where we would expect to be, presumably. I don't know how we're going to get on today in this big game against Man City, but as we've seen for the last couple of seasons, West Ham is always a fun game. So even if we get an absolute thumping at Man City, the West Ham game should be fun. Disclaimer about Man City: remember, this is the team that won the FA Cup final 8-1 last year against a team that we'd got knocked out to in the semi-final. The only thing going in our favour is the fact they're now under a new manager. Pep Guardiola went to Tottenham, and they've now got Massimiliano Allegri as their manager, although doesn't seem to have really missed a beat, joint top of the Premier League, although Liverpool are top with a massive goal difference. And Mo Salah's decided that he's just going to turn into the one from that season there again, and he's just scoring a ridiculous amount of goals, as Liverpool themselves score a ridiculous amount of goals. But we're not worried about Liverpool, we're worried about us. And this is the team that we're going to be putting out there to try and get anything out of this game against Man City. It's a tall order. I don't know why the team has sorted itself like that. But this is our team. Oh, injury news. Hold on, let's get the youngsters out of the way. We have an injury to our goalkeeper now. Where is he? Can anyone see him? Pau Lopez, there he is. He's only going to be out for another couple of weeks. He's already missed a few games though. But what did he do? I forget what he did. A broken jaw. There you go. I presume our backup goalkeeper hit him. It was a bit of a coincidence. We got a message through from Watford about Pontus Dahlberg and how he wasn't playing any games and how they wanted him to play some games. And I said, well, can't really. Pau Lopez is really good and we spent a lot of money on him. The next day, Lopez got his jaw broken in training. No further information about how that happened, but seems a bit of a coincidence to me. But this is our team. We've got Dahlberg in goal, a back four of Sosa, Bakayoko, Mawson and Sessegnon, with Toussaint as our holding midfield player, Horta and Pineda in front of them, and then a front three of Mirabella, Mitrovic and Hall. This is slowly settling into being my first choice 11, I think. Obviously, I would have Lopez in goal as a preference over Dahlberg, probably, but there's not actually that much between them. If we'd have found Dahlberg a little bit earlier in the summer, we probably wouldn't have spent all that money on Lopez. And maybe Brian still pips Sosa, although I don't think there's much between the two of them. I still think, similar story to last year really, strength in depth is our problem. Although we have brought new players in key positions, all it's really done is highlighted how poor some of the players we had there previously were, and I think we're probably still in a situation where, in an ideal world, we still strengthen with another striker and maybe another defender and maybe another midfielder, because once you get past that first 11, we do look a little bit championshipy. But let's get into the match. We are at home against Man City. Presumably this game's on the telly because we're the only game on, and hopefully we can surprise everybody with a shock result against Manchester City. I mean, that's a front four, isn't it? Oh my word. Right, so team talk. Yeah, let's avenge what happened last time. Don't remember what happened last time. I regularly get mocked when I don't remember what happened last time. I don't remember movies either. Once a match is played, it's out of my head. I don't think about it anymore. I couldn't tell you what happened in some of my favourite movies ever. I read comic books and couldn't tell you what had happened in them an hour after I've read them. I don't remember things. I enjoy them at the time, or I guess in the case of a football match that I've got to avenge, probably didn't enjoy it at the time. I just don't remember it afterwards. So if you remember what happened last time we played Man City, do let me know. unless it was hideous, in which case just keep it to yourself. I don't need a reminder. Mirabella with a free kick straight into the wall though, but Mirabella picks it up again via Kevin De Bruyne's face. It looked like Toussaint now plays it over to Mawson, and we're just trying to knock the ball around the back, taking it nice and patient. Simon Hall bursting past about 3 players and firing just wide. Hall is a very good player. I suspect this might be our last season with Simon Hall, unless we can sneak into a Champions League finish, which is really unlikely. I don't see how we keep him this summer. I'm surprised we kept him last summer, turning down offers of lots of money. What just happened? That is possibly the softest goal I've seen us concede for a long time. Let's have a look at this from the other angle. I'm not really sure. I mean, there's a bit of head tennis going on, and I think it's gone down for Icardi. Which one of these is Icardi? Because that looked like it came off Alfie Mawson's head, and the keeper wasn't really aware of what was going on, and that was just, all in all, a little bit rubbish. Let's show some passion. Although we are, I mean, forget passion, we're struggling to get hold of the ball at the moment. We're supposed to be a team that controls possession, but obviously Man City are quite good. They're a decent side, and I mean they look like a side that's been put together by somebody who's downloaded a short list of FM19 Wonder Kids off of the Steam Workshop and has just bought them all. Right, that's exactly what's happened, presumably. Mawson's having a terrible game. That was a terrible pass from Toussaint and put us under pressure immediately. We need to keep an eye on Mawson. Sessegnon's not played very well either. We have got Shane Duffy on the bench, who, of all of the backup players that we've got, Duffy's probably the one who feels most hard done by for not being in the team to begin with. So Mawson might not be much longer for this match, although Mbappe has now scored. Oh. And I don't know, was that on Mawson's side again? Because if so, Mawson's coming off now. So that's Mbappe. It's actually Sosa who's marking him. I don't even know where Mawson's supposed to be. You'd think our centre-back would be somewhere in there trying to defend against a cross coming in. I think he's down to 5.9. We are going to take off Alfie Mawson, who's just having an absolute nightmare. So Duffy can come on. Duffy can't play as a ball-playing defender thing. He can be a stopper. Just get in there and kick them. Kick them all, Shane. Right, let's demand more. I actually feel like it's a little bit harsh against a Man City team that are obviously much better than we are. We're actually not doing that badly because we've not conceded 8 goals yet. Sosa to Horta. Horta plays it forward to Mirabella, who's got Mitrovic and Hall ahead of him. Mitrovic beats his man and scores a beauty. What a goal from Mitrovic. He has flashes of brilliance, but they're so irregular. If he could do this on a regular basis, he would be one of the best strikers in the Premier League. But this is brilliant build-up play from Mirabella. But Mitrovic still has so much to do. Bursts past his player and just thumps it across goal into the top corner. Why can't he do that twice a game? That would be delicious if he did. Right, who else isn't playing very well? Sessegnon's not playing well, but we don't have a right back on the bench. Pineda, Josh Cullen does not inspire a comeback in my mind, so I don't think Cullen is the man to come on. Mitrovic has just scored a beauty, so we're not going to bring on McBurney or we don't have a single change we can make that is actually going to strengthen this team, so we're just going to leave it alone. And I don't know, we demanded more and scored an absolute screamer. Do I demand more? Is that gonna get us even closer? Imagine if we could scrape a draw out of this game. Mitrovic now. Hall's been very quiet, but here is Hall picking it up deep in his own half, plays it back to Sessegnon, back to Hall again, who's got Pineda inside him and plays it forward to Mitrovic. This is a nice little spell of possession. That's a beautiful pass out to Mirabella, who crosses to Hall. Mitrovic is in the middle. Hall crosses into Mitrovic, and Mitrovic has scored again, and it's 2-2 on 72 minutes. And all of a sudden, after demanding more, we have sprung to life and are playing some beautiful football. What a pass that is from Mirabella to Hall. Nobody else sees that pass even. You don't make that pass. You're crossing in here for Mitrovic, but saw Hall in enough space to pick out an even better cross than Mirabella could have done. And that was a thing of beauty. And now we just need to keep going. Get creative now, lads. Let's see if we can grab a win. Imagine if we could grab a win. We don't deserve to be drawing. We've come back from absolutely dead and buried, and there you go. City have gone back ahead. And that's probably that. They gave us that little glimmer of hope that Oh, it's the hope that kills you. They gave us a little bit of hope, and now have just killed us off. I get the feeling Manchester City haven't really had to come out of second gear today. We shocked them a little bit with some decent football there, and they just thought, oh, actually, it's 2-2 now. Let's just sort this out quickly and then carry on going about our business. We've got to make another change, I think. There's some tired legs out there. Horta, in particular, probably needs to come off. Cullen is on, and that feels like the kiss of death for the match. Sessegnon's having a terrible game. But we just don't have anybody who can come on and play it right back. So we're just going to have to leave him there having a terrible game. Bakayoko, forward to Sosa. Could Sosa or Bryan maybe play it right back? We've got 2 left backs knocking about the place. I wonder if we could stick one of those over to right back and just get Sessegnon out of the firing line before it ruins his confidence completely. Cross comes in and it's 4, and you'd be forgiven for not even remembering us getting back into the game at this point, because it has been, if you just sort of nipped out to blow your nose for 3 minutes or like a minute and a half in the middle of this video, you'd think, oh, this has been all Man City all day long. Dahlberg probably could have done a little bit better there, but Man City are just a very good team. A very, very good team. Let's make another change now. We may as well bring McBurney on for Hall at this point, because we're not going to win the game now. We're not going to draw the game. We may as well just make some changes and protect our important players. Pineda with a chance for a little consolation goal at the end. McBurney nods it back across goal, but it doesn't really go anywhere. Sessegnon, that summed up his entire game. He's not played very well at all today. So, I mean, I can fault your performance, but it's not that I'm not happy. Let's say that. There you go. I calmly said I'm not happy, and they're fired up. Just to, look, lads, you could have done better than that. And then I leave. And it seems to have been quite effective. Right, who are we playing now? West Ham. Hopefully, we can spring back immediately against West Ham and show that form that we showed for 5 minutes in the middle of that game for an entire game. No changes for the West Ham game. In fact, forget that. I'm going to bring Riyad Mahrez onto the bench at the expense of Liam Moore, just so that we've got an attacking option on there. So, no changes to the team, but we do have Mahrez and Lopez have both made it onto the bench. Let's get into the match. Lopez is still not fit enough to start, but he can sit on the bench and just look around. And if I notice him trying to make eye contact with Dahlberg, I know there's beef between the two of them. Right, have we got anything to avenge this time? We have. Oh, I do remember what happened last time we played West Ham, because we were supposed to thump them again. We thumped them twice in a row, then they thumped us. So this is, we owe them a thumping now to make it 3-1 up. Thumping. What is Mawson doing? He's a centre-back. I know he had a bad game in the last game, but he's just skipped over a challenge, played Hall in, and that was poor from Hall. Alfie Mawson needs to just remember that he's a centre-back. I know he's a ball-playing defender, but he doesn't need to be dancing around the place like that. Bakayoko. Is he going to try it as well? No, he just plays it forward to Sosa. Sosa turns around ever so slowly, but then plays the ball over the top to Mitrovic, and Mitrovic is there to chase. But it was a pretty poor pass, actually, considering how long Sosa took over it. It was just long and straight and didn't really give Mitrovic very much to do. And West Ham come at us again, and we're struggling to get it clear. And every time we get it clear, it goes to a West Ham shirt and just comes back at us again. And of course, they've scored 3.5 minutes on the clock. And yeah, we struggled repeatedly to get the ball clear there. I think somebody just needed to take responsibility for it and just welly it. Bakayoko there trying to just nicely play it out to Hall. And I know we're playing a possession system, so in situations like that, they are supposed to look for the pass. But I would question Bakayoko's decision-making there and say, yes, look for the pass. But in that situation, Simon Hall's being marked quite closely. He's not the pass. If you can't see the pass, get rid of the ball. Don't just pick the best of a poor bunch. If there is no good option, thump the ball as far away as you can. I don't know how to set that as an instruction in the game. I want them to try and play nice football, not at the expense of doing the right thing when it's necessary, though. And they're in again, and Dahlberg manages to collect. But I don't want, I've not made a video for 2 days. I don't want back-to-back defeats. That would be rubbish. Mawson plays it forward to Hall. Hall's got loads of space. They've left him with acres to run into, and he just sort of runs into one of their players. Toussaint now to Horta. We're going to build through the middle this time. He's drifting out to the left-hand side, finds Mirabella. Sosa's in space. Sosa crosses. It's too far for Mitrovic, but Pineda collects and tucks it into the goal, and it's 1-1 on 25 minutes. And I mean, it was a nice little breakaway goal. Horta to Mirabella, back to Horta. Horta plays a nice little diagonal ball to Sosa. Sosa's cross falls to Pineda, and their keeper will probably be quite disappointed with that because it was straight down the middle of the goal, but I'm not going to complain at all. Oh, what just happened? Did the doorbell ring? I said to go... No, the doorbell did ring, Kev. Did we score a goal? Is what you... Oh, my word. Why did you start the game? You've made yourself look an idiot there. Oh, what happened? Did we just score a goal? The doorbell rang. 10 minutes have passed. But I see it's 1-1. We did. Pineda scored. I remember it. Don't try and be funny, Kev. Just... did the doorbell ring? My word. Right, we're building again from the back. Horta, look at this run down the middle from Horta. Plays it to Mirabella, which took a lot of the momentum out of it. But we are stretching West Ham a lot here. They don't seem to have... It's like they're playing with 9 men. They must be leaving 2 up and not coming back to cover our players as they sort of stretch them around in all sorts of directions with our overlapping fullbacks. Horta again running into this huge amount of space being left in the middle, but runs straight into the wall that West Ham have built in front of their back four, and that's a good challenge from, was that Bakayoko coming across to cover there? It was a good challenge nonetheless, and West Ham have a corner just before half time. Hopefully we don't get a sucker punch here and it just goes out for a goal kick, and that is absolutely the perfect scenario we could have hoped for there. 1-1 at half-time, but we have been in control of the game, and now we just need to push on and win said game in the second half. West Ham are leaving us lots of space to run into. I don't know where my little... I haven't got my radar on. I don't really want the radar back. I want the formation thing. I want to see what formation West Ham are playing, because they seem to be leaving a big gap. There they are. That's the big gap they're leaving. They've got 2 deep midfielders sat in front of their back four, which is that wall we keep running into. Massive gap in there that we're playing in. And then they're leaving a lot of men forward. So that's... Blimey, did I just diagnose a system just by watching the match? Oh, I've changed. So we need to be controlling this area and then sort of getting around them, around the sides. Because as much as we're controlling the area here, we're then just running into this. We need to come around the side a little bit. Mirabella plays it around the side to Hall, who is about as wide as you can get, cuts in field, and it's across to Horta, who just hits wide from the edge of the area. I'm wondering whether I try and push my luck and actually give a tactical instruction to tell us to play down the wings. Even though they're doubled up on the wings and you'd think they'd be in a position to defend it, they're playing very narrow and we keep getting around them. And it's Pineda and it's wide. And I don't want to change anything because we're playing very well. Ever since their goal, really, we've been getting better and better and more into this game. Horta now wide. The amount of shots we've had just whistle past either post. One of them's got to fly in at some point, surely. But I think we are reaching the point where we need to make a change. Mitrovic hasn't really had a very good game today. We've got both McBurney and Power. I think we're going to bring on Freddie Power and just make him an advance forward and get him to run at them, scare them with a little bit of pace. And then Horta. See, Horta's been playing really well. I'm ignoring that and leaving Horta on. But what I am going to do is bring on Mahrez for Hall just to get something a little bit different, a very different kind of player, just to see if he's... The combination of Mahrez's trickery and Power's pace just gives us another way to try and go at them and find an opening. Let's tell them to get creative. Have we got one more change in us? Toussaint, or we are going to take off Horta and bring on Cullen. Just for energy in there now in the last 10 minutes. Run around a bit, Cullen, and get the ball to these ones. And I think by making that change, I've just taken all the sting out of our play. I've taken off the players that were clearly responsible for the attacking oomph that we had. Pineda plays it across to absolutely nobody, and after giving the sales pitch of this game as it's always a big game, always lots of fun, nothing, absolutely nothing. Everyone thought we'd be beaten today. Did they? We've scored like 10 goals against West Ham in the 3 previous games, but apparently everyone thought we'd be beaten, so we come away with a draw. I guess we have to be happy with that. An away draw against West Ham isn't going to be a bad result for a team like us. And we just try and take the positives out of those 2 games. We weren't outclassed in either of them. We'll pretend Man City did try, even though I suspect they probably didn't. And we'll come back for the next episode, probably at some point in December, maybe even early December. We'll play this bunch of games, do something in early December, then that'll give us time to play another bunch of games to do something at the end of the transfer window. That seems to work for me. If you have enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.